Okay, take 12. Let's go! I have sat here in front of this camera 12 times now, trying to think of a way to start this video. And I still don't know how to do it. So I'm just going to sit here and admit to you, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go from there. If you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, if you're in my Discord, anything like that, you already know that we ended up being in charge and taking care of a blind cat. And this is just gonna be a brief story about what happened, maybe with a few more details. If you have questions, let me know. You can leave them in comments or you can message me directly. I'd be happy to answer your questions. So let's start with part 1, which is the story of how we got her. And then we'll move to part 2, things that have surprised me about having a blind cat. And then we'll move to part 3. Miscellaneous. I haven't gotten that far, okay? Part 1, how we got her. Shall I introduce you first? That's her. So, last week, well actually a little over a week ago now, I was walking home from work and I was hearing what sounded kind of like a cat in heat. Not exactly like one, but I just kind of brushed it off. I was on FaceTime with my friend. I was like, cats are in heat this time of year, not a big deal. But I realized the sound was coming from towards the road. So as I'm walking, I'm kind of paying attention, like if the cat's in the road, I should like shoo it off or like call it to me or something, you know. But as I get closer to the sound, I start to see something. And what I see is this baby in the road yelling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that cat's in the road and it clearly has injuries. It's missing its right eye, and its left eye is completely damaged. So I kind of forget that I'm on FaceTime with my friend, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's a cat in the road, and I think put my phone in my pocket, or I'm just carrying it, I'm not sure. So I am like, here, kitty, 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 and I motion for her. She couldn't really see me, but I'm like snapping and calling for her. She just trots on over. She's having the best time ever. She's like, hello, new friend. I realize there's a car coming, and I'm like, holy crap, oh my gosh, I need to do something. So in pure Japanese elementary school student style, I throw my hand in the air and I walk out in the road because that's how you cross streets here in Japan. So I put my hand in the air and I run out in the road and I pick her up. Sorry, did I scare you? So I pick her up out of the road and I put her on the ground next to me in a parking lot, a much safer area. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I call my husband. Excuse you? Oh, do you see the motion of my shadows? She can only see like light or shadow. So she's following my shadows right now. So I call my husband and I'm like, what are we gonna do? And then I remember we were literally like a block away from a vet. So I'm like, let's just take her there. I don't know how she's gonna respond in the car, so let's just like run her there. So we're carrying her and we get to that vet. That vet is closed that day, of course, you know, because everything's closed on a Thursday. So we get there, they're closed. I'm like, what are we gonna do? And then my husband's like, oh yeah, there's the other vet on the other side of town. Let me just run and grab the car. So he books it back to the car and then picks us up. And we go to the other vet and the other vet's like, she seems okay. These injuries don't seem new. She is wearing a collar and the collar has a air tag on it. So clearly the owner is gonna be able to track down, you know, where she is. So we're like, yeah, that's, you know, a good point. He calls a rescue team. That rescue team is like, we'll be there in 2 hours. Can you hold her until then? So we take her back to our place. We had just thrifted a couch, which was like covered in gross stains and stuff, but we were steam cleaning it, so no big deal. So I was like, yeah, this stray cat can just like hang out on the couch, no biggie. So we're hanging out on the couch for 2 hours. The rescue people arrive and they make a flyer for her immediately. Like they were so fast. They were excellent to work with. Absolutely wonderful people. They go out, find animals that have either been like lost or animals that need homes or strays, and they take care of them. And they reunite them with their families or give them to, you know, their forever home. They were so kind. They genuinely love animals. It's not just cats. They do it for dogs. They do it for ferrets. They do it for birds. Pretty much any animal you can think of. Anyway, we work with them and they're like, we don't think it would be smart to like bring her to our place with all the loud sounds. So she's like, can you take her for now? Can you like foster her? And we were like, of course we can. We have, you know, the house, we have the garage, we have the kitchen, all places that are like closed off to our animals. That way, you know, quarantine to be safe. So we take her here and the rescuers follow us and they bring kitty litter, cat food, jumbo crate, like 2-story crate, okay? We're just in awe of all the stuff they've just brought over for us to foster because we didn't know at the time how long it would take for her owner to get back to us or find her. We were in it for the long haul, you know? And we get everything set up, everything's working. I'm sitting in next to her crate and I'm playing with her because I wanted her to be comfortable, I wanted her to feel safe. And we hear a man in our house and we were like, whoa, what is that? Who are you? Turns out it was her original owner. He tracked her down through the air tag and he was very relieved whenever he got to her. Whenever he spoke for the first time, she reached out to him. She loved him, he loved her. But the following day, I had this feeling in my gut, like this isn't done. Like there's something else happening here. And we get a call from the rescue people saying that because of his living situation and his work situation, because I don't know if you know, but in Japan, everyone works literally sun up to well past sundown. But due to that, he can't have cats inside constantly. So he was taking care of cats that were inside and outside. But because she's blind, that's dangerous. And he knows it's dangerous. So he ended up surrendering her to the rescue people. Because of that, they contacted us and we were like, gimme, you know? I was like, bring her to me. I love her. So they delivered her to us. But here's the thing that surprised me. They brought a different crate, the 2-story crate. They brought almost a year's supply of cat food plus some. They brought a huge supply of kitty litter. They brought her favorite toys. They brought this, which is her original bed from her original home. Any and everything that you would need to take care of a cat, just as a gift because we said that we would take her in. And I wanted to cry right then and there. I didn't, but I wanted to because it was so sweet and everyone was so nice through the whole thing. The man who took care of her before was so genuinely kind. And it speaks a lot about him because when he knew it was dangerous, and instead of being selfish and being like, I can take good care of her, he decided to do what was best for her. And that is the best thing you can do for an animal. If the best life, like the best quality of life would come from a different family and come from a different circumstance, surrender is always the best option. No one is going to judge anyone who surrenders for that reason. So yeah, and this is Mushi. I don't know if you can see, but Mushi loves Iggy May. Her name is Ignis May. Her original name was May, and we didn't want to just chop it off and get rid of it because, like I said, her original owners were so nice. We wanted to like keep that part of her, you know? Plus, she responds to it. She's really good with it. So we call her Iggy May, short for Ignis May. If you have played Final Fantasy 15, you know where that's from. Also, our other cat's name is Lady Lunafreya, so same game. But she seems pretty happy here so far. It's been a week. All the animals immediately started to get along. Lunafreya, we call her Freya, is still quite a bit afraid of Iggy May. She runs away from her, but they'll play together. They'll play, and then Freya will run off and be like, oh, I'm scared again. So to reduce stress, any sort of like feeding, all meals are given in separate rooms with the doors closed. They're given completely separate. To also reduce stress, there's like times that we just like, you know, we'll take one and like play with her and, you know, make her feel secure and safe and loved. That way, you know, Freya doesn't feel like Iggy May has come into her house and just like taken her spot, you know. And Mushi's just happy. Mushi's just happy to have another friend. He loves cats. Doesn't really get along with other dogs, but loves cats. So now let's move on to the second half of the video, which is going to be things that surprised me and then also things that we're going to be dealing with a blind cat. The number one thing that surprised me is how playful she is. She is constantly playing. Like, she's laying down. It's me. She's laying down now, so I don't want to bother. No, you're going to scare her. You're going to scare her. You know that she's scared of you still.
It's not okay though, it's not.
I didn't expect her to be so playful and so good at playing. That sounds so mean, but like we have these, let me find one, these little, you know, jingle balls. She loves them. I did not expect her to be so good at like hitting them and like following them around, but she's excellent with it. She knows exactly where they are all the time, except when she doesn't, and then that's also really funny because she's like swatting at the ground, and it's so cute and she's so sweet. And she eventually finds it, you know. The second thing that really surprised me is she climbs and jumps on things. As soon as she's like mapped out the area, she was like, yes, this is mine. Climbs this to the very top, because like it's pretty tall. It's like, I think it's 6 foot something. Super tall cat tree. And she sits up there and sleeps. I am a nervous wreck. I am like, oh my gosh, please don't fall off of there. She hasn't yet, thank goodness. But I did a lot of reading, and apparently cats have scent glands in their paws, so they can smell where they climbed up somewhere. So she just climbs right back down the exact same way she climbed up, which gave me a lot of comfort, though I still heavily monitor whenever she is up there. That's just because I am nervous. The next thing that really surprised me was her ability to kind of know where things are. Like, she knows if she's about to step on the rug or she's about to step on something that shouldn't be there. Sometimes she just bumps into things, that's fine, you know, nothing major. She just little bonk every now and then. Sometimes if we close a door and she doesn't know, she walks into the door, which is a little bit sad, but also a little bit funny because like they're very loud doors. So like she hears that we closed it, but I guess she wasn't paying attention. It's very cute though. See, she's very playful. She's a very sweet baby too. So cuddly, so loving, constantly purring. Can I pet you? I try to snap every time before I touch her so she knows that my hand is close to her. I don't know if that's like what I'm supposed to do. There wasn't really anything like that about that online, so it's just something that I started doing because sometimes whenever I would go to pet her, she would jump even though she knew I was there. So now I just kind of right before I pet her. So see, no jumps. Like I said before, she can see when a light is on and she can see shadows if they are cast across her face. So that's why she's able to see my shadow whenever it goes across her, because the light's coming from over here. So to the next part of the video, what we're going to do next. So tomorrow we're taking her to the vet, we're gonna get a checkup, gonna get her looked at, gonna get her eye socket from the missing eye checked out. We're gonna get her remaining eye checked out to make sure that it doesn't need to be removed or anything. And we're just gonna take it one step at a time. We're gonna do what we can, when we can, as soon as we can, you know? Just how it be. She's constantly vibing, so, you know. She's so cute, I can't get over her. So to the last part of the video, it's just miscellaneous things that I may have forgotten before or wanted to throw in last minute. Starting with number 1. I think I explained earlier, but the reason I'm not doing this on stream is because every time I have something to announce on stream or every time I want to talk about something on stream, not everyone is there at that time. So people will come in and be like, oh, you got this thing, why did you do that? I explain it. Someone else pops in, oh, you got this thing, why did you do that? I explain it again. And it's over and over and over and over again. Usually I don't mind because it's small things. Like I tell people I live in Japan, they're very like, oh my gosh, are you an English teacher? And I'm like, no, I'm not an English teacher. I can answer that question all day long because it's easy. I'm not an English teacher. I work at I almost said hospital, oh my God. I'm not an English teacher, I work at a hotel. I'm not an English teacher, I work at a hotel. I can say that all day long, several days in a row, no problem. But having to give the entire story of how I ended up being taking care of a blind cat from the streets of Japan, that seems like a big thing to tell every single time. So I was like, this will just be easier. Also, I want so badly to be able to make YouTube content. I have for years. Like I said before, I used to make YouTube content. I used to be able to sit down and make a video. Of course, I didn't edit those videos. I just did it all in one take, and that was it, like I'm doing here, hopefully. But I didn't know anything about YouTube at the time, and I mostly uploaded the YouTube videos onto like other platforms like Facebook and stuff, and I did Facebook Lives, I did Instagram Lives. If you knew me back then, I'm so sorry. Yikes. But I love content creation. Not because I'm like, everyone's watching me, but it is so, there's something about being able to look back a year later, 2 years later, several years later, and be like, this is where I was at that point in my life, and see how you acted, see how, you know, you presented yourself, see if you were truly being yourself. Because I look back now on the videos which I have archived that I made years and years and years ago, and I'm talking like 7 or 8 years ago, and that's not me. I mean, it was me, but it wasn't. It was a watered down version of me that I put on so nobody would be uncomfortable when watching my stuff. But now I'm not doing that. I am purely being myself. So from this point on, I am making YouTube videos for myself. I am making them to be a document of what I learn with taking care of a blind cat. It's going to be a documentation of all of my time here in Japan. 5 years have went by and I have yet to post anything for me about what I'm doing here, which not like I'm doing a whole lot, but like my adventures here, my fun things here. And yeah, I look back on it on Instagram, I look back on it on Facebook, I look back on Twitter, and it's nice, but being able to have a video to see myself acting in this situation, to see myself, I say acting, but like being my genuine self in a situation, see myself react to things that are first time, once in a lifetime, see myself from a perspective that I didn't get to in the moment. I feel that would be such a fun experience, and that's exactly what I want to do. So from this point on, this channel is going to be me, blind kitties, well, blind kitty, cute kitties, 2 cute kitties. Ugh, maybe I should restate that. From this point forward, isn't that right, Mr. Moosh? You wanna be in this? You wanna be right here? You wanna be right here? From this point forward, this channel is gonna be all about me, my 2 kitties, my doggo, things I learned in life and the adventures I have along the way. And if you want to join, I would absolutely love that. But if you don't, that is fine too. I'm doing this for me this time, but I am so happy that you have been here and you've watched this first video. And I am just so excited to see what I do next, because I do lots of streams and I can put streaming content up here. I can do so many things. It feels right now like the possibilities are endless and I am just excited. So, you know what? I'll see you in the next video, possibly the next stream. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Mushi.